Welcome to Carolina Creepers and Oddities Radio, the podcast that will give you chills and keep you up at night. There are 31 days until Halloween, and what better way to celebrate the spookiest night of the year than with a daily dose of terror? That's why we're bringing you the 31-day countdown to Halloween. Each day we'll be posting a minisode which features a different short story to get you in the spooky spirit. Whether you're a fan of classic horror or you're looking for something new and terrifying, we've got you covered. Some of our stories are works of fiction, while other tales take place in and around North and South Carolina. So what are you waiting for? Join us on our countdown to Halloween and prepare to be scared. So gather around, my dear listeners, and let's tell some scary stories. But be warned, once you start listening, there's no turning back. The 31-day countdown to Halloween begins now. Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Edwards, and I will be your host on this 31-day journey to Halloween. Today is October 1st, and you know what that means. Yes, Halloween season has officially begun. Today's selection is not a short story at all, but rather a poem written by undeniably the darkest author of the 19th century. Published in 1845, here is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And silken sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. That is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and faintly you came tapping at my chamber door. That I was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I heard there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was whispered word, 'Lenore?' This I whispered, and an echo murmured back, 'Lenore?' Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. 'Surely,' said I, 'surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what the thread is, and this mystery to explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.' Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least of senses made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mine or lord or lady perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad face into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. 'Though that crest be shorn and shaven, thou,' I said, 'art sure no craven, ghastly grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on thy night's Plutonian shore.' Quoth the raven, 'Nevermore.' Much I marveled this unwilling fowl to hear it discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above the chamber with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word did he outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather he then fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it uttered is it only stock and shore, caught from some unhappy master whom merciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy bore, oh never, never more. But the raven, still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled in a cushioned seat in front of the bird, and busted in door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy, thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat enraged and guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamp's light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamp's lighting gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen cancer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore. Desolate yet, all undaunted on the desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is this balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest, and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust above the door. Take thy beak out of my heart, and take thy form off of my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. Today's selection came from poststories.com. Well, folks, that's it for today's minisode. We hope you enjoyed the story we shared with you. If you're looking for more spooky content, be sure to check out our website at www.carolinacreepersoddities.com or follow us on social media. Please make sure to rate our show on whichever podcast platform you're using, as it is very helpful to us. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another round of Halloween terror. In the meantime, stay safe, stay spooky, and have a happy Halloween season.